Go.
Welcome to our podcast today. This is Coach Eric Johnson, the brand.
This is Coach Aaron Thigpen, the source. Guys, I always forget about this stuff because I'm more interested in our subject matter and content versus the whole promotional thing. But for those of you guys watching us on YouTube, hit the like button. Make sure you like. I know we sound like everybody else, but it actually gives us good feedback. And helps us figure out what subjects really matter to you guys and what direction to maybe take some of this content and conversation. So please hit the like, even hit the dislike. I ain't scared. It's all good information for us. So if you want to go a step further, comment. Just don't talk about my mama.
And don't talk about my mama either.
EJ, what's today's subject, my friend?
Hey, Aaron, we're going to talk about redshirt. Are you willing to redshirt your freshman year in college? Are you prepared to, if the coach says, hey, listen, we need you to redshirt, or are you really ready to do it? Because this is a likelihood that could happen to a scholarship athlete. It could happen to an athlete that has a secured roster spot and said, hey, you're one of those 35 guys we want on our roster, and you've got a place to play. And they see you for 2 months and they go, you know what, we still like you, but we want you to redshirt. How are you going to handle that? Can you deal with it? Do you know what it means? We're going to talk about this subject today, Aaron, because I think a lot of high school athletes go there and there are things that they think are promised. And I like to tell people that every scholarship, majority of scholarships now or roster spots are a 1-year contract. They're not a 4-year commitment. At some universities, some conferences, they have that. But at the majority of these colleges that are allowing you to have a roster spot or a scholarship, it's a 1-year contract. So, are you willing to redshirt, Aaron, is the question.
I mean, the first word that pops into my mind when I hear that is strategic. You got to be strategic about your approach to using a redshirt year. Obviously some redshirt years are forced on you because of injury. Sometimes they're forced on you because of academics. But if you don't have those hurdles to overcome, what's the appropriate use of a redshirt year? I don't know. It's a good question. It's probably individual based on each individual's, situation. But I think it's something that athletes should consider and put it into their development plan. As much as a lot of us think we're ready for the next level, most aren't. No matter how successful you are at the high school level, that's just the reality of it.
Right.
And you may, even if you're able to play at the next level, do you have all the other requisite skills in terms of the management of your time, being able to handle full load of studies and training full time and all the other things that go on with organizing your life? There's a lot of other intangible things that go into being a high level athlete that aren't just about how well you shoot the ball, how fast you run, or how, if you can throw strikes or not. And so you have kids who have ability, but they may not have those other things in place. And maybe taking a redshirt year allows you to have a smoother transition and get acclimated to the environment that you're ultimately going to compete in. Doesn't mean you stop working. It's just that maybe you build some of these other necessary skill sets that make you a complete athlete.
I couldn't agree with you any more than what you just said there, because when I hear red shirt, people think it's the kiss of death.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have to be. It allows you to get reorganized and work on things. You said academics were very important. Understanding that new style of studying in college. Maybe it allows you to reorganize your body or your training regimen so you can compete at that university you're at. And you have time to do that. When that team goes on the road or you're not required to practice, what are you doing during those hours to help you be able to compete the following year at school? Are you just saying, I'm just going to go to the beach or just hang out with my friends and just, party, whatever you want to call it? Or are you really, into the process of having a plan and ready to get where you need to be the following year? So, I couldn't agree with you anymore, Aaron, about that being a red shirt. It's not the kiss of death. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to actually get better.
Yeah.
And I think,
agree. Go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't see it that way. And I know I hear parents that, hey, he's redshirt, and I don't know if that's the best for him. I think I want him to transfer and he can go play here. Just because you're going to go somewhere else doesn't mean the grass is greener on the other side. You would hope that you would be mature enough to understand and ask questions. I'm redshirting because of how can I get better? What do I need to do to excel excel here at the university to help you win ball games? Those are questions you should ask. Just don't say, okay, I'm redshirt, that's it, and just walk out of the meeting. I can't believe they redshirted me. So, along those lines, Aaron, it's just interesting of how you deal with that and what you need to go forward.
Yeah, and maybe the reason is financial too. Again, you're not just mapping out an athletic career, you're mapping out an academic career as well.
Right.
And so you want to make those things line up so that you maybe are in a situation where, you complete college while you're on scholarship.
Right.
Versus having to complete your athletic career, but now you still got another year or maybe even two academically, and how you're going to navigate that financially. So, I think there's a timing issue and getting all that stuff to line up. A redshirt year could be valuable.
Right.
Again, we talked about in our other podcast, D1 mentality, we talked about the JC route and what's going on there. You made redshirt at a JC. That gives you another year and kind of extends the clock, allows you a little bit more academic, development academically and athletically. So yeah, like you said, it's not the kiss of death. It's not the scarlet letter. It could be a tool that you need and something that you may want to consider when you're trying to strategize your college career.
Yeah. And, Aaron, I ask a lot of athletes, and I ask this question to them now, is that what if they redshirt you? They look at me like, oh, that's not going to happen. I go, you don't know that. You get on campus, maybe you don't know all of the new people that have come in, and that, what have you done to get ready for that? What's going to happen to you? And I tell everyone, I said, just be prepared, in case that does happen. And if it does, are you able to pivot and come up with a strategy that gets you to the next point in your career there as a student athlete? And, are you willing to stay there that summer? I always say, are you willing to stay there at that university that summer to fulfill some things academically if you're not going out to play? And are you willing to work out with the trainer at school during the summer if you're not willing to go out and play? Because some guys have injuries. You said this earlier. Some guys have injuries. Some guys, it's an academic thing. Are you willing to do all those things in the summer to get back in the fall and get ready to play? I always tell people that. So, it's something that, you need to consider if you are a fringy kind of guy. If you're a fringy kind of guy and the coach is telling you, hey, we like you a lot, we got a roster spot for you. There's going to be about 4 or 5 guys competing at that position. You need to prepare yourself that, that's a reality, or be, as we say in previous podcasts, be ultra ready before you get to campus so you don't get yourself in that situation. But if you're not, then you need to be aware of these situations that are in front of you as a red shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I just think athletes need to adopt the mentality that, I guess it's like dating, that you're not exclusive. Regardless of what the coach tells you, you are not an exclusive relationship. And they reserve the right to swipe left or whatever it is at the end of every year. And so, I don't know. Are you their main squeeze or are you a side chick? But you just kind of have to, I don't know if it's not a fear, but you have to look at the reality of the landscape of sports. And athletes are more interchangeable now than at any point in athletics that I've seen. One half dozen versus the other. You can pick up a guy here, you can pick up a guy there, you can pick up a girl here, you can pick up a girl there. Athletes are plenty. And you've got to, be realistic in looking at that. And so if redshirting allows you to stay on campus a little bit longer, get acclimated to the program, get to know the coaches, and actually give yourself a little bit more of an opportunity to swim, with the big fish. So that way, when you do get an opportunity to play, you can make the best of it because you've been there, you're ready, you've been wet, you've seen it all, it's not a bad thing. So again, it doesn't have to be something forced on you. It could be something that's elective, and that's just part of what your strategy of what's going to make you or ensure at least your success at a particular institution.
Wow. That just boy, that wrapped it up for me, Aaron. I mean, it's hard to really, I mean, you put it in a nutshell. You really just said, hey, listen, be prepared before anything. And you're right. And I don't want to belabor this point, but in my history of coaching, I've never seen so many interchangeable athletes in sports, like you said. So that was a great point, Aaron. And on that note, this is Coach EJ, the brand, on YouTube with Aaron Thigpen.
And this is Coach Aaron, the source. Again, like, dislike, comment, it's all good. We'll see you.